What's up, people? Joe Bernstein here. Hope you can hear me. Hope you can see me. Sun's kind of funny here in this moment, but just got back in from a run, or just got to my backyard from a run, because essentially I've just started taking coronavirus seriously enough to avoid the gym. So I decided that I would actually get a little more rest today, since I didn't have any early morning clients, and allow my immune system to strengthen, and also to incorporate a couple errands with my physical activity. So I just did some errands, ran back, etc. What are you doing, actually? Share in comments below what you're doing to stay grounded, to stay present, to stay conscious, to take care of yourself in this time where we have to change so many of our patterns and habits and places that we go and ways of being, etc. Drop a comment. Just one thing you're doing to adapt in this current moment of crisis and change, globally, locally, nationally, everywhere. And what I really want to talk to you today about is this powerful question. So last night I was on a group call with one of my leadership mentors. And he is pretty amazing and transformational in his leadership, in running several businesses and doing a lot of developmental work in Mankind Project, in mentoring dozens and dozens and dozens of men, and doing some other powerful work like gender reconciliation work at the UN and things like that. So he's a badass leader, and he really gets it on a deep level. Which, by the way, if you have a leader that you're admiring right now, I want you to tell me about them. I want you to message me or drop a comment below. Like, who are the leaders out there that are inspiring you in this time of information, misinformation, disinformation, crisis, change, adaptation, etc. Speaking of adaptation, I'm going to keep shifting things up because of the sun and the clouds. What a metaphor for life right there. So I think 3 people are watching right now. I'm on my phone, so I can't see y'all, but hey, if you are watching, go ahead and hit me with your favorite emoji right now, just to let me know you're here, or a response or reaction, all right? I want to know you're here. I want to know I'm not talking to nobody. So my leader mentor last night asked this question to a group of about 8 of us, and he asked, how do you show up as a leader, or what do you do in crisis as a leader before you found your center? So this blew me away, because usually leaders are going to ask questions like, how do you find your center in the midst of crisis? But he was taking it to a whole different level. He was taking it to the level of a true creator, a true leader. A true leader knows what shows, what bad behaviors, what bad habits, if you even want to make them dual and call them good and bad, but what ways we show up unconsciously when it comes to leadership in crisis. That's such a powerful question, because often we're thinking about what should I do rather than what do I actually do? And how do I see it, feel it, know it, own it when I'm showing up in these ways that are outside of who I want to be? And this applies to everything. I want you to keep watching, keep paying attention. If you are thinking about self-leadership, if you're in a relationship, that needs leadership. If you have a family, your family needs leadership. If you're in any sort of business whatsoever, you have clients, you have employees, right now is a time for leadership. And it's time for the question, what kind of leader do you want to be? What kind of leader will you be in this moment, right? Now, I know that I want to be a transformational leader who leads through relationship. I want my leadership to help transform people's way of being, groups' way of being, families' way of being. And I want to do that through the most profound transformational relationship principles and practices possible. So if you have a personal philosophy right now of what kind of leader do you want to be in this current moment, in this crisis, go ahead and hit me up with it too. Drop it in the comments, because I want to be inspired by others as well. So essentially he was asking this question, and the answer was shocking. You know, for me, it came up right away. What do I do as a leader before I found my center? And the reality is, I go into denial. I don't like to feel powerless. I don't like to feed the fears of myself or others. So I immediately deny a crisis. I'm like, it's not a big deal. This isn't a crisis. We need to stay calm and steady. But overall, my immediate reaction is, don't worry about it. This is bullshit. So as part of being a great leader in my personal life, in my relationships, in my world, in my community, in my business with my clients, I'm going to own that. I'm going to own that my default setting is to deny that there's really a problem and to keep going, because often I found that false evidence appearing real is the reality of fear, right? Like a lot of our fears aren't truly real, but there are true fears. And even when we do this as a leader, we might think that we're using like positive force or positive psychology to lead others, but in reality, we're steamrolling their concerns, and that does not make them feel more grounded, more accepted, more calm. You know, just relax is never the kind of thing that you want to say to someone who is panicking, because it doesn't actually do anything. So this is the question I'm asking, and this is the bigger question is, once you know what you do, how can you use that as fuel to snap into action, to find your grounding, to find your connection? So now I want to ask people out there, what do you do in times of crisis to find your grounding, to stay focused, to lead from love rather than fear, to choose courage over comfort, to choose creativity and creation over consumption and hiding and denying or running? What do you do? I'm actually asking. Throw some comments below if you have any processes, any practices that help you get grounded. For me, breathing, making sure I maintain my exercise, my fitness, making sure I'm eating even better, making sure I'm taking care of myself is number one, because this is the time to think about this. If you don't put on your mask, if you will, your oxygen mask, then you really aren't going to be able to help others. Those of us that are strong, those of us that can maintain positivity, those of us that know how to lead through darkness, who are willing to step into leadership in our relationships, in our businesses, in our community, in our families, we need to stay focused, we need to stay healthy, we need to stay grounded. If I go down, I can't help anyone. So there's this balance and there's this paradox. Bottom line, I want everyone to understand they are leaders. You are a leader. And when crisis strikes, when disaster strikes, when fear and uncertainty hit. What's up, Neil? How you doing, brother? Good to see you, man. That's a leader right there as well, too. Neil Tyra is a leader in his industry for helping people grow their law practices. What's up, Neil? So anyway, Neil, we're talking about how we lead before we find our grounding. What are the unconscious things we do? And then what choices consciously do we make to maintain grounding, to maintain our sure footing, our steady-handedness, our capacities to lead in these moments? Now, I'm going to be consistently on social media sharing the vision of a potential for humongous transformation in leadership, because I'll be honest, I don't see the leaders of our nation taking appropriate action right now. So it's gonna take the leaders in our communities, in our families, in our businesses, in our local areas to make the hard choices and to do the responsible things in these moments. Look, this could all blow over and not be a big deal, but we don't know. So for right now, let's stay rooted and centered and take action and take precaution. If you're someone who stays grounded in crisis, if you're someone who believes they can lead when other people are in fear and uncertainty, I want you to comment below, because I'm going to be creating opportunities for leaders to connect, brainstorm, and vision how they can, and their families and their communities and the groups they lead, how these groups can become anti-fragile through this crisis. We don't want to just be resilient through this, we want to get better through this. That's the vision as a creator I'm holding for you, your loved ones, and everyone around. Hey Robin, how you doing? Thanks for watching. But anyway, I'm just on my way out. If you have any ideas of how you stay grounded, how others can stay grounded, if you have practices, share them in the comments. If you know of someone right now who is showing up as a heart-centered transformational leadership through these crises, through this uncertainty, through this fear, drop their name in the comments. I want to connect with them and I want to learn from them. Thank you so much. Go out there and do whatever you need to stay safe, to stay grounded. We're going to get through this as a human race together. Even though we have social distancing, now we have technology to keep us together and rooted. You don't have to isolate in this time. In fact, this can be an opportunity to end the isolation and get in connection. I love you. Peace. See you soon. I'll probably do a couple more lives today at some point.